We'll have to do the welcome back to our second official recording session for Terminal Rank and Legier's Woodshop this week. Very happy to welcome a good buddy Jay. Jay, as we've talked about before, as I was describing him to Amanda, and James is like the most interesting man in the room. When I met Jay, 5, 6 years ago now. It was actually at a charity event, charity ride. It's called Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Um, it was, I want to say it was my first year doing it here in Hawaii. There was like seven people showed up. Uh,
2017, buddy.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it was 7 years ago. And Jay happened to be one of those other seven people. And really quickly hit it off, became pretty good friends. We would go riding a whole bunch after that, and just stayed close ever since. And then in like 2019 or 2020, after I'd already known him for a while, I first heard that Jay had competed at the Warrior Games. I was like, wait, huh, what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I was at the Warrior Games. I'm like, when? A few years ago. I'm like, how have I never heard about this? Um, at that time, I think Jay was in his transition out of the Navy and was pursuing coffee, traveling the world, just harvesting the finest beans. It was just like, well, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. Next thing I know, he's like, oh, I'm gonna dabble in some politics. Thinking about doing this or that. Uh, and then just here recently, he's like, yeah, man, starting this the whiskey lab. Dude, what is it that you haven't done? Are you going to be an astronaut next? Like, so yeah, man, just you have a very colorful kind of path to where you're at now. Why don't you go ahead and take a couple minutes, kind of fill in the blanks there, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. Thank you for having me on your show. This is really cool. You know, being called interesting uh, gloats my ego a little bit, but really, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. What am I good at? And it's just bouncing around. But yeah, I think Nick, where you and I hit it off is we're creators in a sense that we don't like to just hire people to do something for us. We like to figure it out and try to do things ourselves. So uh, and that is not a normal thing in today's society. There's a few things. It may be normal with those of us who served, but trying to figure things out and do it for yourself is really what pushed me to these different paths. And I'm really surprised we didn't talk about that. But 2017 is when I did the Warriors games, and then 2018 I did Invictus games. And while I was over in Sydney, Australia, we get off the plane. They're playing some music for us. We walk outside, and there's a big welcome party, and there's this little cart, this coffee cart, and it's a retired sailor from the Australian Navy who set up this coffee company. He did it after he retired, and all his profits go to charity to help injured veterans in Australia. And that's what really kicked me off to start that coffee company. And I did travel the world. I found some really good coffee. I was very good at the operation of getting things set up. What I was not good at was business. And so I sold like 700 kilograms of coffee, but it wasn't a scalable venture. I had a lot to learn still, and I knew that. So I didn't try to dive in too much into debt and to set something up that I wasn't confident that I could successfully scale and set up. And that's when I went back to where I'm at now, DC, to get into a couple of different communities. So intelligence community, that political gamble, no, I did not pursue that. I did learn about it. I talked with some representatives. I was up in upstate New York, where I'm from. John Katko was the sitting representative there for the Republican Party. I was considering running on the Democratic card, but there was two other Navy veterans running against John, and I really like Representative Katko, John Katko. I like what he stands for and how he voted. So I didn't want to run against him, and I sure as hell didn't want to run against two other Navy vets. But that was all. That's it for politics. And yeah, I'm not sure where to go from there. There's been quite a bit